and welcome to episode 42 of SOHO Insights.
Where each week we talk about the latest products, services, and trends that help your small office, home office lifestyle be more productive, efficient, and fun.
Hello, I'm Kathy.
And I'm Jen, and this week's episode is the last of the month, so it's on an iconic figure in business, and we've done it on Groupon. We've done last month was on
Bethany
Frankel of Skinny Girl Margaritas, and she just announced, I believe, that she has a Cosmo.
Ooh, fun.
I know, I almost sent you the message.
I could drink the Cosmo.
Yeah, if it's low calories, but there was a big controversy with her her drinks being kicked out of Whole Foods.
I didn't hear that.
Because it has some type of artificial sweetener in it, which is really interesting because she just kind of shook it off and was like, that's not a very big dent in our market, so whatever. So, good for her.
Interesting. I didn't hear that.
Yeah. Well, she promoted it on her Facebook page. I like her page.
Oh, darn. I should like it.
All right. So anyway, this month's iconic business figure is...
Wait, I can't. I'm so tired. Drum roll.
Is that like an 80s electronic drum
No, I'll talk about it, but we listen to a lot of satellite TV over the week. Okay. Anyways.
Who is it? You still haven't said who it is.
Richard Branson.
Yes, thank you. My goodness, it took long enough to get into.
And I meant satellite music.
Whatever.
Not TV. Okay.
So Richard Branson is who we're going to be focusing on for the next 10 minutes or so. In our SOHO Insights episode, which you can find over at Ovaleye.tv. There are episodes where we do look better than what we look like tonight, but whatever.
We're going to talk
or
about
this morning, whenever you're watching us. We record usually on Monday nights our SOHO Insights episodes, which stands for Small Office, Home Office Insights, because we are a hosting company that runs not only our business out of our home office and small office. So each one of us has a home office that we work from virtually, and then we have a small office that we convene in, and our hosting or our servers are in Seattle in a data center. So anyway, we offer our insights, like we were talking about, to other hosting clients that are small office, home office businesses. Mm-hmm. Forgot where I was going with this.
You just kept going. Okay, go ahead.
Well, seriously though, what was I going to talk about?
Tonight, I will just say, okay, today was our first day at... Okay.
Producer, what did we say?
You're going towards what you...
Oh, Monday. Okay, Monday we usually record.
Yes.
Monday night, and then we watch Dancing with the Stars afterwards, and it's kind of like our fun night.
Monday was my birthday.
Right, last night was your birthday, and so we decided, we're not going to record. We're just going to have a nice family dinner, which was gluten-free, and it was good. You actually had...
You kind of... Good.
No, it was good. It really was.
It was very... Whole Foods, actually, was our dinner. I shopped there with Tracy.
And you just got back from a nice long vacation.
We did 3,000. I'll do a blog on this because I was amazed at what we did. But we did 3,000 miles in a rental car, listening to a lot of great books. Actually, Steve Jobs' book and the Why book, and then a lot of 80s, 90s, and 70s music too. Plus, one of them was Comedian Channel. That was pretty fun too.
So we're a family-owned, women majority-owned business. So my mother is my partner, who's this person right here.
Yeah, another year older
too. Should we say how old you are?
No.
Okay, fine. But anyway,
I am very proud of it. I will say 48.
So we
hello.
Growing up.
Say, cool, Mom. 48.
Wow, Mom. That's awesome. So growing up, we moved to California when I was younger. So the car ride, the 3,000, or we moved from California up to Seattle, and we still,
every family
summer.
Member is down there.
3,000 miles, we traveled that a lot growing up.
Yeah,
so when she talks about the music stuff, that was something from my childhood I remember very distinctly, like at midnight listening to, what's that one? No, it's the bad one that I used to hate, and it's because of my dad. He used to listen to it at midnight when I was trying to fall asleep.
Van Halen?
No, I like Van Halen. It was one that it was awful. I'll have to remember it as we go on. But anyway. So yeah, going back to what we were talking about.
Yes, back to business.
We were not. That's not what I was talking about. we were supposed to record last night. We didn't. We watched Dancing with the Stars and celebrated. And this morning we started our Back to Business Building Summit. And it's something we've been working on the last couple weeks to showcase our web conferencing services. This is the logo. It happens today through the 30th, or yesterday, your time, through the 30th, which is Friday, and it's pulling in 14 experts, and we're using Ovaleye web conferencing, and we're trying to show our clients and other people that anyone can do this. And so we've made a point of using services that are free, that are online, to do registrations from, etc., that you can pull into your web presence builder, which is a Parallels Plus product. It's free with hosting when you host with Ovaleye.com.
Yes.
And by the way, we didn't really plan on having like an Ovaleye merchandise show, but because of this business building summit,
and it went so well today, we're very happy. Thank you so much for everybody that tuned in.
Thank you for the people that came in,
and
for our
the
presenters
speakers.
especially.
Oh my gosh, they were good.
Yeah.
Well, what I heard of them, I'll listen to a lot of the recorded message or recorded presentations.
Yeah, but it was really important to me that I was in the presentations as they happened, so
Every
I could see what worked, get the feedback from people that attended, and also from the people that were speaking. And they were very well attended, and the speakers did a great job, and I've gotten a lot of feedback, and I was able to witness firsthand what happened, so I can then go back and tell our clients what happened. But anyway, it made for a very long day.
She never moved.
Very long
I would
couple
come in
weeks.
and give her drinks and food.
I have not slept for the last 2 weeks.
Well,
so.
because last week too, you had Kelly and you didn't have me to help you.
And now today you were juggling baby and business, and so Mom's just like, I spit up all over me. Are you kidding me? We're going to record? I'm like, that's my life now.
Jen melted in her chair all day, and
you ran after the baby.
I took care of the baby and did the phone calls and the support in the background. At one point, I was driving home from getting Kelly at daycare, and he was making lots of fun noises. The phone rang, and I thought, I'm just going to get it, and hopefully he'll be quiet. So he was, because usually he goes, me, or, hi, screams. But I answered the phone, and it was some support about your summit today, and it was hilarious. He was quiet throughout that phone call.
So it's been interesting. The moral of the story is, you really just need to do it.
Yeah.
It's especially if it's fun. It's a lot of work, and I'm not saying that the work is the good part. It's the after effect, what you're creating, and obviously later on we're going to pass this on to someone else to do so that we can focus on other things, but it's fun, and it's just nice to get the feedback from small businesses that say they're gaining stuff from it. So
I have spit up in this hair. I have dirt that he fell down in the dirt and then put his hands all over my white shirt.
And every mom that's watching and is saying, oh, I'm so sorry for you.
But he likes to grab the hand, and he had, I won't even tell you what was on his hand today, but it was fun.
It's new to me.
Fun juggling today.
So anyway, we're going to get into our presentation, which is on Richard Branson.
That's what we're talking about.
So go ahead and talk about, pull up the notes. You were saying that earlier, and who were trying to choose to write on. This has been somebody that I grew up with in our house. We were laughing because we had Virgin merchandise growing up, and Virgin was a big name for me.
In your high school years, you wore like Virgin T-shirts.
I don't think I ever did that, but it was a big name around our household
because I'm a huge fan, and I told this at the summit this morning too, but we started with music. I think we have it on Ovaleye.com too, but we started with Main Street Music, and I did managing bands. We did a music label and all that. So my superstar that I always looked up to was Richard Branson.
Because he...
What do you mean, because he...
Well, people might not know why he's connected with music.
Well, Virgin Label was one of them. He had a store, Virgin Store.
It wasn't Virgin Jackson a Virgin Label?
Actually, his first album that he recorded was Tubular Bells. I always remember that. I don't remember who. It was the guy that did. Who was it? Peter Gabriel, I think. And it was in a estate. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, we have this book.
It's over there. Yeah, Losing My Virginity. No, it's on the. It fell down, I think.
It's down right there.
When we moved everything, yeah.
So anyway, so I know of him because of that. And so when I was asked to join Ovaleye with my parents in 2007 after I graduated from college, I, trying to figure out what a business owners look at, I looked up Richard Branson, and I found this case study. Look at my screen. This case study that I printed out a long time ago, and I've kept it ever since, and I look at it every couple months still. And it talks about how he became successful. And so when we were talking about how a small office, home office business can apply something that an iconic business owner used for success, I thought he was perfect for it, because that's really who I honestly have looked up to since I started.
His home office is in Necker Island, you know. And
or a houseboat, or
whatever.
Yeah.
But he always had his kids a part of his business too.
Yeah, but so in this case study, it mentioned a lot of interesting things, but one of which was it mentioned what a product or service needs to have in order to have a virgin label on it, which I thought was interesting, because it's all about, he started with one aspect, and his big mantra is that if you can do one business, you can do them all.
And he has something, how many did, I think his website says he had 200, and I think Wikipedia had 400.
Yeah, there's hundreds of businesses that he owns, and nonprofits too. And so it was saying that it must be of high quality, it must be innovative, it has to be of good value for the money, it has to be challenging to existing alternatives, and it must also have a sense of fun. And we'll have this link over at ovaleye.tv for the case study that I printed out a long time ago. But I thought that's interesting, because if you look at all of his brands, all of the companies that are within the Virgin brand, they all measure up to that. I thought they all are very consistent with what they put in front of them to build that company off of. So that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But also in that article, I've kept a note, and we'll talk about it in just a second, is that he has a notebook that he carries everywhere with him. And this case study, I don't even remember when it was from, so I apologize to whoever made it.
I thought you said you knew the person.
Well, I do.
Okay.
Maybe I should mention that.
Yeah.
Glenn Rifkin. And it's over at startupjunkies.org. And yeah, again, a link over at ovaleye.tv. What was I going to say? Oh, the notebook. So he mentioned it in the notebook in this thing, but he also mentioned it a couple days ago in an article he wrote in Forbes magazine where he uses the notebook.
Well, if you Google Rich Branson, every single YouTube, I've looked at all of them. I looked at every single interview except one we're going to talk about, The Day in the Life. I haven't watched that one yet. I have to see that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one.
Well, the other point that in the case study I wanted to touch on, because we don't talk about that for the rest of the episode, is that in this case study at least, he reads his mail from employees every morning before he does anything else.
I like that.
Which I thought was interesting, and he's made a point of acting on whatever frustration they have. So the people that work for him don't work for Virgin, they say they work for Richard, which I thought was really interesting.
Yes, that's a good one, I like that.
Yeah. So anyway, the next one was an article that you read that was published yesterday, kind of along the same lines, carried on from, whenever this was written to yesterday. It was a certain amount of points that he wrote on whether or not you could teach entrepreneurship.
Yes, but that one that I like was, when I was just getting started in business, Sir Freddie Laker, the famed British airline founder, advised me to build company promotions around my own personality. And I thought that is perfect.
I have that article.
Yes.
Let me show my screen. So it's from Business Day. And it's the fifth and sixth point that you pointed out. So the fifth point is what you just mentioned.
Yeah,
and the sixth point was persistence is key.
Yeah, and the business is a risky occupation.
And why did you like that one?
It says, understand that an early adventure's failure is a badge of experience, not the end of one's career.
Yeah, importance to bounce back is what it's saying.
Yes.
It's good.
I really like his personality too, so I thought marketing around that is a very good thing.
Okay, so the next one I'm really excited to talk about what a small office, home office business can bring in other than those points that we just mentioned is this idea of publicity stunts. Because he's all over the media. always all over the media.
The first one I remember was the Matt Lauer, Where in the World is Matt Lauer, on the Today Show, and he knocked him over, and Richard Branson knocked Matt Lauer over, and it was hilarious. I guess you had to be there, though.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that one.
So another one that was interesting, that was just recently, September 15th, he wrote about it in his Virgin blog, and I have an image of it. It's a Hulu clip, and I thought this was awesome that he does stuff like this. He's not afraid to poke fun of himself or make himself look silly.
And he definitely looks silly
if it promotes his business, if it promotes his brands, if it makes his employees still have a job the next day. And look at my screen. So Jimmy Fallon and Space Train is a skit, and you'll have to check it out. Again, I'll have the link over at ovaleye.tv for where you can find it. But first of all, I love Jimmy Fallon, and this interview was fantastic. He talked about Necker Island and the fire that happened there recently. But the skit itself was really funny too, and it was just it's just a nice reminder that you need to do what it takes to get your small business out there. And what he argued in that point that we just mentioned, the 6th point, there's the 5th point that you said, you just need to do what will get your business out there. They will make or break your business if people know about it or not. And a lot of the things that we're going to be talking about in the next couple minutes is the fact that he looks at Virgin Brands, at the airlines, as being the small business.
Whatever.
Which, as small businesses, we don't really see it as being a small business, but in comparison to who he's competing against, it is a small business.
That is a good point. Yes.
So he says we got to use what we can to get out there.
Okay.
And he's proud to do so.
Okay,
my computer's going to die in a second.
Well, hurry. All right, we're almost out of time anyway.
Philanthropy is another big piece, and he has Necker Island.
Actually, I had quite a few of these listed. But you tell about the Allie Brown thing.
So we've got a couple images. He's invited recently, like we said, he owns hundreds of companies, and then he also has nonprofits to go along with it. Our producer just saved the day. He gave me the power cord.
Okay.
So he's got nonprofits because he feels like it is, if you have a successful business going on, that you should...
A lot of health in there, a lot of...
green.
Yeah, there was some Africa schools.
Yeah, but he feels like if you've been successful and you have a big name in the media, it's up to you. It's your responsibility to make sure these things get paid attention to. And I thought that was a good point. But anyway, so he's invited some big internet celebrities
that have big voices.
Such as Allie Brown. And what a pretty photo. Yes, please. I will go there anytime. Yeah. It's really nice. And then the other one is Marie Forleo. I think that's how you pronounce her name.
Very pretty.
She's very pretty and very, very knowledgeable, a very big internet celebrity. And she was invited there as well, which is not only great because he's spreading this idea that entrepreneurs can now, they're kind of merging with this nonprofit idea, and that there's this bigger realm of business to be had. Social entrepreneurship, right? It's a buzzword right now. A lot of you have probably read about it in Inc. magazine or something like that. So he's promoting this idea through them. So it's another great kind of...
So they go home and they tell everybody.
Yeah. And I don't want to say it's a publicity stunt because I think that that's not the nicest way to say it. But it's a smart way of getting his message out to people. So that's a good one. Apart from his philanthropic work, he's made dozens and dozens of lists.
Where are we going to get these lists? Where are you going to tell them to go to?
Ovaleye.tv will have all of them. If you share my desktop now, you'll see that a long time ago, he made 26 most fascinating entrepreneurs list.
What year was that?
Like 2005 or something like that. But the interesting thing is with these lists is that they're consistent. Every piece of advice he gives in each list it's still true today.
I'm sure he's
which I think is really neat.
Go to the moon too, compared to all the other people out there. I'm sure he'll be one of the first.
Yeah, so apart from that, we've got two other pieces that we want to talk about and share. So we touched on a little bit. I want to bring it back to the concept that he says he's a small business, right? The Virgin brand, the airline, etc.
You could say that, but
but he wrote an article not too long ago. Let me pull that one up.
Is that the one
if you'll
in
share my desktop.
Or entrepreneur?
I think it was an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Yeah, on why biggest doesn't mean best.
And we always think that.
So that was September 12th that he just wrote this. And the quote that we wanted to pull out was, not only can a small company be the best, but it has to be the best to stand a good chance of thriving in today's competitive world. And I thought that was very interesting.
So many great things that I like about him. He said, I mean, that's perfect too.
Yeah, so it goes on to saying, Virgin's culture was now firmly focused on developing products and services from the customer's point of view and trying to do things better than anyone had done then before. We always try to shake up an industry by showing just how high standards might be, or could be. And I thought that was a good point, to shake up an industry, to really stand your ground and believe in what it is that you can deliver and do so in a competitive fashion, even though you may be smaller.
Well, I hope we're doing that with the hosting industry.
I would hope so too. Yeah. So the last one that I urge you all to watch tonight, or on the weekend or something like that, if you haven't watched it, is
you and Kenny both saw it.
This Hulu, A Day in the Life. It's if it wasn't for Netflix and Hulu on our Roku player, I would not know half of the things I know now.
I do like a lot of the bios there.
Yeah, we have Hulu on our Roku player. Did you guys ever use Hulu?
No.
On them? Okay, so a lot of people say it's not worth the money, but I think it is.
See, your father says it's not worth the money. I would probably get it.
Well, so A Day in the Life is the piece, or the episodes, or the show that I think you should watch. And he was the first episode. And I don't know if will this clip show if I show a fast clip?
Search for Microsoft.
Let's just see if it works. We're going to dazzle you with our video expertise this evening and not our looks so much.
Make a real difference.
So this is a part of the episode that I really like.
Lots of energy because I'm fascinated by what I do. I love people and I love learning, and every day I'm learning something new.
So it was him saying, this is at the very end of the episode, and the entire episode is fantastic. So again, check it out. It's called A Day in the Life, and Hulu, and we'll have the link over at ovaleye.tv. But he says that in the question, how do you have the energy to do what you do? Because he travels a lot. He's got a lot of different responsibilities, and he says it's because he says, I'm fascinated by what I do. I love people and I love learning, and every day I'm learning something new.
Perfect. I will say that we were watching a James Bond movie. What was that James Bond technical director? They go to the Miami airport.
Quantum
Leap. I can't remember. That's a TV show. Quantum Solace. Anyway, yes. Anyways, one of those last James Bond, we're huge fans. Our son was watching it with us, and all of a sudden he said, "Stop the movie." I think I saw Sir Richard Branson in there, and it's true. He's in there getting checked out at the airport, and there's some Virgin airplanes in there too, so it's kind of fun. Yes.
So this was our episode on Sir Richard Branson. And are you going to give us a short recap of what we just talked about?
Just that he's one of my favorite entrepreneurs.
We talked about having a notebook when you're doing stuff. We talked about
he's got
bouncing back if you fail. We talk about...
He calls them some of his businesses are small businesses.
We talk about being social entrepreneurs, having a bigger why, a bigger purpose, to give back.
Nicely said. Do you want to talk about the summit? The rest of the week?
You can go to http.
You're so tired.
You can go to b2bbsummit.com and find out more about the summit that we've got going on through the rest of the week. We'll also have recordings up there afterwards, so if you've watched this next week, you can go to it still and get the recordings. Another thing is that we are in the running for a Startup Nation's top 100 home-based businesses.
Please vote so we are
and
hot.
We're
not hot
still
yet.
reaching there, and
Come
we'll
on,
have the
keep-
link over at again at ovaleye.tv if you'd like to vote for us. It would be nice. We'd appreciate it. Thank you so much. Ovaleye.tv. As you can see, we do look nice in some of our episodes.
Once in a while.
So you can find us over there, and then finally we have a SOHO Insights channel on iTunes, which is where the majority of you will watch us. So anyway, this is
Kathy.
I'm doing a
Thank
job.
you, Jen. It's time to relax now. It's been a long day. Okay.
Stop saying that.
It has. All right. So until next week, thank you for tuning in. This is Kathy.
Do I say your name?
Yes,
Jen.
Jen. And don't forget to check out Ovaleye.com and Ovaleye.tv. See you next week.